Okay, now that we have the floor plan finished, we're going to start on the elevation, which will look like this when we're done. So make sure you have your drawing out. You'll notice that the elevation has no dimensions on it. So we're going to need to fill some of these in here. So if I go to CAD here, I have the height dimensions on the side that you're going to need. So there's no basement in this house. There's just a small concrete slab at the bottom that's 4 inches thick. And then there's a dimension from the top of that slab to the top of the windows. And that's going to be 7 feet. And then this space in between the top of the window and this piece, which is called a fascia, it's a piece of trim. So that space right there is going to be 8 inches. Then we have the fascia or trim piece, which is 10 inches. And then the height of the roof is 4'6". There's also the angle for the roof. In this case, this is called a hip roof because it has 4 angles to it. And that's 30 degrees. And finally, the overhang of the roof is 1 foot. So you're going to need all of those dimensions in order to complete this part. And our width dimensions you can get from the floor plan. Like we know it's 34 feet across. And in fact, we're just going to draw 2 lines up from the left edge and right edge and project up to get our edges. So that's the first thing we'll do. So if I zoom out here, another thing you might want to do is move your floor plan over to the left a little bit because we'll need to put the finished elevation right here. And I took 2 construction lines and I went from the right edge and drew a line up, and I went from the left edge and drew a line up. And then I'm going to draw a third line. I'm just going to kind of go across like this and then trim it so that it's even with the part. So that line right there is going to be the bottom of that 4-inch slab. So we're going to do a lot of offsetting here. So I'm going to offset that first. So I'll set my distance to 4 inches. I'll offset up 4 inches. So there's the slab. And I'm going to use all these height measurements to offset. So then I'll go 7 feet, 8 inches, 10 inches, and then the 4'6". Okay, so offset 7 feet. We'll go from the top. And then offset 8 inches. Okay, so we did the 8. Now we do the 10 and then the 4'6". Offset 10. And offset 4'6" for the last one. So those are our height measurements. We need to extend the fascia, which would be this one here, over 1 foot or 12 inches. And then I can draw a line here to there. Same thing on this side. So we're going to go 12 inches and 12 inches. And we'll draw a line to connect this. And then I'll do those 30-degree angles. So from here I go tab 30. And then this one, this will be, it looks like 90, or it would be from here, we would go, let's see, 180 minus 30. So that would be tab 150. And those are your 2 30-degree angles for the roof. I'm going to trim this up a little bit so I can get rid of all of this corner here, this corner there. I'm going to zoom in, get rid of this and this, this and this. That was a TR enter, enter, and I can delete any last little lines here. I guess I can also trim off the bottom of that. There's the outline of the house, so it goes pretty quick. Just like we offset up, or we projected up the left edge and right edge of the house, we also want to project up the center of each window and door on the front of the house only. And that'll go up to here, to that little 8-inch, the bottom of that 8-inch space. So there's that bedroom window, the front door, the center point. And both living room windows. So again, you're projecting up 4 lines now, and that'll help us to locate the centers when we put the symbols in from the library. Okay, so we have the 2 windows, the door, and then the third window on the left side. So now we can start putting those windows in. So I need to go and open up my Canvas page so I can get to the file. So we're looking for that same Advanced CAD house file, which is in the architecture folder. Right here, and we want to download that. And while that's downloading, there it is. We need to figure out what windows and doors we need. So this is 4x4. These are both 4x5. And this is a 3-foot exterior door. So 4x4 and 2 4x5s. We'll do the windows first. Okay, so I remember I used the C235 window, so let's take a look. So there's our 4x4 right there. So I can take this, and C24 is probably the 4x5. Let's try that one more time. 4x4. What's this one? Oh, that's 4x3'6". So here's our 4x4. This is going to be the 4x5. So we need to take both of these windows, and I'm going to clipboard, copy, and go right-click, clipboard, paste. Put those off to the side. Now the 4x4, I only need 1. So I'm just going to move this. I'm going to go from the midpoint on the top, and I want to move it right here to this intersection. The 4x5 window, I need 2 of them. Both those living room windows are 4x5. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to copy. And I'm going to go from the midpoint here to there. So the windows are in place. Next is going to be the door. The exterior doors are on the right side of this file, and it's actually, this is the one you're going to want right here, K651. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to right-click, clipboard, copy, right-click, clipboard, paste. Now this one, you want to move it from the bottom midpoint. There's a little slab here as well, like part of the, and then we can see our door frame around the house, or the door. Go from this bottom midpoint, and that one's going to go right to here, to the top of that concrete slab. The other thing you need to project up would be these 2 lines right here. There's 2 lines next to the door. That's this little entryway area. So those lines would represent these 2 walls. So you want to project those up. Grab a line. So that would be from the inside corner here, and I'll go up to right here. Actually, that one's going to go up one more. It's going to go up to the bottom of the fascia. And then the right one, the inside corner, same thing, to the bottom of that fascia. Now at this point, I could delete some of these lines, or trim. Delete that one. I don't need this 8-inch line anymore. That was just to help me line up the windows, so I can get rid of that. What I'll probably do now too is select all of this, and I'm going to use my object, or switch it to object layer. I also need to trim this piece out. So you should have one continuous concrete slab going all the way across the bottom of the house. And that's it for the elevation. But we do want to put materials in there. If you look at the finished one, I actually can see the brick and I can see the roof shingles. So the brick and shingles are both hatches. So we're going to use the hatch tool, and I can click on the brick, and we're going to use brick with a scale of 1'8" or 20 inches. And then the siding is going to be, let's see, I gotta select a brick, ARR shake, and that's a scale of 1. Okay, so we can go back here. I'm going to use my hatch tool. We're going to set the style to AR shake. Now that's a scale of 1. And we should probably change our layer here to object. And the brick. Hatch tool again. It's just called brick. And that was a scale of 20. And I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click here. One thing, too, depending on where you click, if you zoom in on the brick and notice the bottom, it's kind of weird. It starts with like a little, it's not a full brick on the bottom or the side. You kind of want to start with a full one. If you were actually building this house, you wouldn't, cut a line of bricks or trim them and start like that. You'd want to start with a full brick, and you can actually adjust where the hatch starts by selecting it and going to this blue dot, hovering over, and click on origin point. And then I can go and I can make the origin point now that corner. So now we're starting with a nice row of bricks that aren't trimmed or cut. Now you might have to trim a little bit at the end, but at least we're starting nice. Then what I did, I kind of moved it down. You can see here's the finished one I have already ready to go. You also need to add in a scale, which is 1/4 inch equals a foot. And that's also in the advanced CAD house. So you're going to want to copy and paste that in. That's the most common type of architectural scale out there. 1/4 inch equals a foot. So when we print this out, we have some sizes and we know what our scale is. I labeled everything, floor plan, did that city blueprint. That's also 12 inches, and labeled front elevation. That's city blueprint and 12 inches. Fill in your title block. So your name, do that in 6-inch lettering. Whatever today's date is, and you could just put drawing number 1. And those are all 6-inch lettering. Make sure it's spaced nice. You can see how I have them set up on the screen. And then when you're done, you want to do a zoom all. If you do the zoom all, and let's just say I had some lines over here that maybe are turned off, it's still going to zoom with those. You can see how it's off to the left a little bit because I have those lines over there, even though they're turned off. So I need to delete those. Now I can do a nice zoom all. It's centered good. I'm going to go File. I'm going to go Print. This one we're going to set to the plotter. Which is not showing up at the moment. So that'll be another video. So don't worry about plotting it quite yet. In this video, but at least we know how to set it up and finish our elevation drawing.